All right, now go live twice. Can you take it off? I can't hear you. Whatever you did last time, can you take it off of that again?
Have you did your Instagram?
It's okay. I'm gonna leave Instagram off today.
Okay, well go ahead and go live
All right, I hit live. Should I hit something else now?
twice. If you did it twice,
I think
we're
so.
live. So go ahead. You can just skip the video. Let's get it right into it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. We are live again on this 23rd day of February. I hope everybody can see me well. We are doing it a little differently today because the butterfly is traveling. You get this stuff out the way. The butterfly is traveling, so I am the main host today. Thank y'all for rocking with us. I hope that you guys can see and hear us clearly because we're doing it a little different today. So first off, man, thank y'all for being here. Let us comments in the chat where you are, where you're coming in from, where you're watching from, and who you're with and who you've shared if you can. So let us know who you are, where you're from, and who you sent it to. And again, peace family. We are here on the 23rd day of February, the 23rd consecutive day in a row with us sharing our thoughts, feelings, and and going through this amazing book that seems to have been following us around. This book that seems to have a personality of its own. And that book, other than Dennis Kimbro's Daily Motivations for American Success, this is an incredible book that we've been reading over this month, and it's really galvanized us to renew our intention every day, renew our affirmations every day, to give us that extra fuel to keep on pushing, not just that extra fuel to keep pushing, but to achieve our true goals. And in light of that, it says that this book will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your goals. And 365 short but powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis, who's the author of the best-selling book Think and Grow Rich, Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, and become wise enough. This is the important part. Become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from distinguished and celebrated African Americans. I'm talking about Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Charlene Hunter Galt, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and the list goes on and on and on. This treasure of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches you will last a lifetime. So if you've gotten the book, let us know in the comments. Say, I got it. I know a couple of you have, and a couple of you haven't. That have, man, y'all are on the right track. The ones that haven't, I'm not saying you're not on the right track, but the track that you're on could be better, even smoother paved with, I promise you. And as we come up to the last week of this for the month of February in celebration of Black History Month, do it as a gift to yourself and get this book. It goes on throughout the entire year. There's a passage for every single day that can help you. And we're actually starting to go back some and read the passages before February, just for that extra little bit of motivation. So they're doing before we jump into the passage, I'm going to turn it over my beautiful mother, the butterfly. You got anything for us on this trip for yours? Doing right now.
Good morning. I'm going to be very quiet because I'm in the car. So I'm going to kind of talk through the comments in the chat. I may flip back and forth on Facebook as well. I had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day yesterday. Still applying everything that I'm learning from this book. Enjoyed journaling through the scripture last night with you and the rest of the people. Brandon, that was probably one of the best, um, I'll call it this Bible study that I've had, or God study. I'll say that because it was all different faiths and people and ages and races. So just beautiful. Yesterday was just a day of awareness. So I'm going to go back on mute and I'll just come in and out. But good morning, everybody. That's it.
You sound great, by the way. It doesn't sound messed up or anything
Oh,
like that. So
really?
as long as you're
Okay.
holding,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Because
it sounds
I
great. It
want to
sounds
keep it
very
clean.
good. Okay, I'll let you know if it gives us any disturbance. But as of right now, you sound good.
Okay. Super. Super.
All right. Yeah, keep a lookout on the chat as I kind of go through the book and let me know if there's anything that sticks out.
Okay, and don't forget
All right,
you
we're gonna
are the
jump
man
right into.
today, meaning the pull in those banners. I know you got a hard job, right? Pull in those
I
banners.
see. I see. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna
Now
get
see,
it
that's
right
why
though. I'm gonna get it right. I see the band that you
they're all at the very bottom. So just start there. Everything you need is there at the bottom. The last you just drag it down.
got.
Y'all, this is real.
Got you.
So
I see
you
it.
got
I
to make
see it
sure.
right here.
Okay,
Let me pull one in right here. And
there
pull
you go.
in this season podcast. You see it right there at the bottom.
Yeah,
Hey, but I'm getting the hang of this. Day
you're doing
23. Look
good.
at this. Do it
Ooh,
again.
look at
Look at
that.
that. Day 23. Ooh, look at me.
That's
All
it.
right, y'all. So today's title is "Which Way Will You Turn?" Again, way will you turn? And I'm gonna hop right into it on this journey. Mom, you on a physical journey. We right there with you in spirit. So uh, thank you for showing me how to do all this. So, which way will you turn? And our quote of today is by Roscoe Dungy, an entrepreneur and an activist. So the quote says, "Some people succeed because they are destined to, but most people succeed because they are determined to." Mm. Some people succeed because they are destined to, but most people succeed because they are determined to. And that's again by Roscoe, an activist and entrepreneur. Who among us has not been tempted to exclaim, "I wish I could chuck the whole thing, get away from it all"? Who has never become, quote, fed up and known an urge to escape? Who has cried, "I've had about as much as I can take"? Yet, would fleeing be the answer? Would not our frustrations still hound us? Would we not take our arms with us? We tempted when tempted to run away, you must call on your resolution, not your doubts and you sharp abilities when you encounter something difficult and battle against it with determination and courage. You never get your second win except in the long race. You never learn in shallow pools. Learn to play tennis with the net down. You never gain sturdiness if you before reaching the top of the first steep hill. It is persistence that most separates the achievers. They also rans. After your arms and back are tired from swinging, it takes that solid lick to split the log. If you quit before the final blow, all your efforts are wasted. Nothing takes the place of persistence. Ultimately, the man determined push replaces the man with differential pull. Success smiles on those who persist, who refuse to be stopped by rebuff. Keep on trying. When you are tempted away, call on your inner resource and persist. And the quote for the day, or for today, that's going at the bottom of the screen, because now I know how to do it, is success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. Again, success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of difficulties. I'll say that again. Success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of difficulties. Did I do that two or three? I think so. We're gonna do it one more time for the people in the back. For the people in the back seat, right there, Mom. There's somebody back there. I don't know who it is. Success comes to those who hang long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of the difficulties. So, Mom, I'll turn it to you. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm going to be quick, as I said again. But if we notice here,
Yeah.
everything again is going internally. He's talking about the success and our decisions, our determination, and it's not always about a stroke of luck, you know. Because as I mentioned, I think yesterday, um, you can be successful in gaining the world, but you'll I feel you will continue
Hmm.
to attempt to gain success through the world and through people. And when you get to a place where you are content and aware, well, I'll say aware first, aware of yourself, aware of the need for change. Um, and it says, which way will you turn? You will know which way you're going to turn before you get there. In most cases, you won't just stand there. You'll be fed off of the spirit. Going back to some of the ones that we did before. So I believe which way will you turn should should be, you should know the answer to that at some point in life. You should get to where you know the answer before you get to the stop sign. So if you know where you're going and you come to a stop sign, based on where you're going and your goal and your plans, you know whether you need to turn left or you need to turn right in order to get to where you're going. In some cases, for sure, we come up to a detour that forces you to go a different route, yet you're still headed to the same destination if you have those goals, if you are internally successful. And it says comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. So if we're thinking, applying that in the driving aspect, those who keep driving get to where they're going. They don't allow the detour to stop them. They know, okay, I was supposed to turn right, but there's a detour. Something has happened, life has happened, so I need to turn left. But that detour always gets you back on route if you don't stop. If you don't say, well, I'm just going to
Mm.
turn around and go back home. I'm going to go back to the things I know, the things I'm comfortable with, even if they are the wrong direction for us or the wrong things. So back over to you, and I'm going to go back on mute. I'm going to try to get my Bluetooth connected so it can come through the car. I'm going to try, but I'm going to go on mute as I do that. Back over to you.
Okay, sounds good for sharing that. I think the title "Which Way Will You Turn" is, will you turn towards your will you turn towards your determination and your courage, or will you turn towards your excuses to get away? And your escapism. I think the need to escape, or the impulse to escape, is something that is inside of us all, because naturally we kind of pursue comfort, we pursue ease, we don't be in difficult situations, but we have that diamonds are made out of pressure, and in metaphor, I've seldom met a truly successful person. I mean, truly successful, not somebody just born into success or anything like that, but a self-made success story. I've seldom met a person, I don't even know if I've ever met a person that was successful in that way and wasn't self-determined, and that didn't have to go through incredible challenges. I mean, you hear all the time of people like, I don't know, Tyler Perry, who is living out of his car, or I heard the same thing about Steve, that in their adulthood, I mean, 20s, 30s, even, were homeless, and now these are household names in entertainment. Or the fact that I think Oprah Winfrey got fired or something like that, from a news station as a journalist, and is now a billionaire off of the platform that she's created for herself, and the following that she's gained. Um, all of these people, even your politicians, your academics. And the only reason I use people that are known in journalism and entertainment is because I know that that's the majority of what people are watching. But in that same note, go and name activists. We could name academics. We could name theologians and people who have gone through so much just to reach their goals. Notice their legacies live on far past their lives. And so I think, I heard this thing from Dame Dash where he said, I do last name, not my first name. And so I feel like when things, and he meant that as a platform and as a platitude for his legacy and what he leaves to children in the next generation. And I think when we have an effort that just stops what it can serve us, we kind of tend to go toward things that give us comfort. That's that's when we're hustling for our first name. And by hustle, I mean whatever our goal is, and the things that we're doing, and we're doing the actions that we're taking to get and reach to our goals. But if you do it for your last name, if you do it for your legacy, if you do it uh, for something other than just yourself and your own desires, greater goals, some greater purpose, whether to benefit your family, the next generation, or to people out of some type of oppression, like in the case of Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela, then I think that extra push but you're going to come to that precipice. You're going to come to that fork in the road that says you have to make the decision which way. Well, will you turn towards the easy way out, or will you keep steadfast on your path that you even know that there's headwinds in the way? And I know that do that when you continue forward, and sometimes you may just get, it's not fear or leisure, but God may lead you in a different direction, and that's okay. But once you have a clear message from that spirit that you're following, the guidance that you're following, don't give up, because trust and believe, everything else is going to try to distract you. There are plenty of weapons of mass distraction. There are plenty of things to get you off of your road, off of your path, off of uh, offline and off center a little bit from the destination that you're going. But if you choose to keep going, just like Mom said, that challenge or that obstacle is just a detour. It's not a stop. So don't let life's circumstances change your goals, change your path. Yeah, let it teach you, learn from it. There's a reason that it's there. But to stop you would mean that everything that you have done was for naught. And I wonder how many people have gotten right to the edge of success, right to the boundary where they're about to cross over, achieve their goals, but they left it on the table because of something so small. It might have just been the hair that broke the camel's back. Asking you, don't let that happen. Keep on pushing, because that's often sunlight comes after the darkest hour. The darkest part of the night is right before the sun rises. So just through, guys, and that's really all I have for that topic. Mom, do you have anything else to add to
Can you
that?
hear me?
Which you turn?
Can you hear
Yeah, I
me
can hear
okay?
you good.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this will be my end. Which way will you turn, right? It's a question. Where are you going? So where are you going? And
Mm,
how does destined compare with determined? And I'll give an example.
mm,
Say, for instance, if you call or if you call me and say, Mom, I am stuck in wherever, or I'm in trouble and something has happened, or whatever, would I be destined to be there or determined to be there? Will I let anything stop me from getting there? So as a parent, um, I'm just using that because if your child is out there lost somewhere, you're gonna try to get there, right? Or someone you love. You're
right.
gonna you're gonna be determined to get there in spite of. So the question for me would be to you all is, where are you going? Do you know where you're going? Because we talked about goals. We've talked about plans for those goals. Where are you going? Do you have the atlas? Do you have your plan? Do you have your trip routed out? Do you know? Because if that GPS cuts off, now what? So that's the
Mm,
plan. That's the plan. You spoke about Steve and Oprah and all those others. Those are people who, in my opinion, if I heard them correctly, they had no plan Bs. There was no plan B and no plan C. Plan A is it. Plan A is I am destined and determined for plan A. I don't have a plan B. That's why the car thing, that's why they were um, willing to endure the detour. Whatever that was, the sleeping in the car, whatever that was, they were willing to endure the detour. So where are you going? Because if you
wow.
know
We'll
that,
enjoy the detour. Mm,
yeah, if you know where you're going, then you know if you should turn left or right. And get this, you can turn the wrong way and still get back on route if you don't stop, if you are determined. So that's my spiel for today. question. What is
It
it?
sounds like you're
Where you?
saying that the like the yeah, it sounds like the only way to fail is to give up. The only way to
What?
fail is to turn tail. But
What was the one about the decision? The only thing worse than a bad decision is no decision at all, right? Kind of like that.
right, 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 and I imagine if your child, if I called you and said, "Mom, I'm stuck, I can't get out," and you're the only person I can call. I don't know if you remember, but I was in that situation.
I, yeah,
What,
coming back
13
from
years ago or
President
something like
Obama.
that?
Yeah, from President Obama's inauguration, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was coming up. Yeah, so I was coming back from the inauguration and the inaugural ball and all that stuff. Uh, I was going through Buchanan, Virginia.
I told him
I
not
don't
to
know
go.
what the
I
population
told him
is,
not
but
to drive the
it's
car.
probably
I told you not to
at the
go.
time ain't nothing gonna look. I was
And you
determined,
you said that you was like, Mom,
determined.
nothing's gonna stop me. Yeah,
I was determined. So I went and it was snowing and all kind of stuff was going. And on the way back in Buchanan, Virginia, I hit some black ice, and you know, next thing I knew, I was on the side of the road, and I was stuck in the cold, and that the it the windows weren't just sealed that stuff the way that it probably should have been, and I was for hours in the cold, man, and I was stuck. So anyway, not to digress, but if your child, now we were 12 hours, 10, 12 hours away from you. But I can't
Brandon,
imagine my
if I
children
may
being
interrupt,
stuck.
Brandon, if I
Yeah,
may, because here's where to determine you guys. I
yeah.
got on the phone and I started calling. I called the sheriff department. They sent someone out. He sat with Brandon for like 2 hours. Do you remember that? He let you sit in his car.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I was determined that I was gonna get
man, that
somebody
man
to
saved
do
my
it.
life. I was so cold,
Yeah. So I called around and did what I had to do. I was determined because
and
I know I would not.
I think he bought me a hot chocolate too.
So there you go. You
Yeah,
determined.
yeah, he was
What's your name?
cool. I remember that name.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered his name. He was cool. He sat with me, talked with me, offered me some chocolate and all that stuff, and
I
I was like, man,
I
you
actually
saved my
still
life.
have this,
I was
Brandon.
out.
I
I
actually still
promise you.
have the
I,
card that he gave. I'm a keeper of things. I still have his card.
really?
Yes, I do.
Look at you. You are a hoarder. Oh, thank you, Mom. I appreciate.
Never know
Actually,
when I
if
might
you
need it.
if you could, I know. Next time I go through Buchanan, Virginia, I might have to give him a call. But really, I think I want to call anyway, just to say thank you all these years later. Let him know that that he wasn't forgotten. I know he was just doing his job. He did it with excellence. He did it with compassion. He did it with a smile face, and I promise you, it made all the difference. Because I mean, I've still been happy to get out of that cold, but had he had an attitude for having to get out there in the cold himself, it would have made it a little worse. But he wasn't. So, but that was the determination part. You didn't let the detour, the distance in this case, detour you, or you didn't let it stop you getting some kind of help from you because y'all died. I had basically one. I knew I had one call to be able to make, and it was those little phones that didn't hold a charge. These are my phones. So I was out in the middle of no population, probably less than 50 people, and in the night, the stars are the brightest things you can see. There's no anywhere. And the last thing I said to him was, I love you, and pretty much I hope it's out. And next couple of hours, that's out there. I was out there chilling until literally chilling. 7 degrees. It was 7 degrees outside, and I got picked up. So again, guys, had happened. Who knows where I'd be, or who knows, what that situation turned out like. But I had a mother who was determined, and so I appreciate that. So today, as you guys go out, Think about which will you turn when you face adversity. We'll face it. Nothing in this life is going to be handed to you over and over and over again. Even as you will hit a moment where there's a speed bump, where there's an obstacle to be overcome, there's a mountain to climb. Like the book said, you don't become sturdy, without climbing to the top of that mountain. You don't learn how to swim in a shallow pool. You know what I mean? So understand that it is the stress, it is the discomfort that causes growth. So as you go today, will you turn? Which way will you turn? Let me see if there's any other things that I noticed in here. And so let's go back over that quote. Some people succeed because they are destined to, but most people succeed because they are determined to. So maybe there's destiny involved, but even in destiny, I see the people that are destined, they still have some type of determination. I don't know. I've never seen somebody just, oh, you're destined to do it without them also putting some type of work behind it. I've seen crazy talented people that do nothing, or create, someone that has this amazing brain, but has never done anything with it. So you sharpen your abilities when you encounter something difficult and battle against it with determination and courage. Oh, and you never. I like the part, as an athlete, where Kimbro says you never second wind except on that long run. You never can win until your first win is tired. But imagine if Dr. King would have said, you know, it ain't worth it. I got the people from the SNCC, breathing down my throat. I got, all these other faction groups, more black militant groups like that. Nation of Islam, they're pitting us against each other. I think I'm gonna tap here. This is too much. He didn't. I'm not saying that did not come at a cost for him, because if you live, the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. He had an ultimate untimed assassination, right? Legacy that lived on from that man, and the change that happened, because of that human being, reverberates through the entire world. That's things like a threat to justice anywhere, or injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I have a dream. We have all these. I have his book sitting right here. Um, there's a part of his legacy that continues to live on. And I think in certain cases that was worth it. But do you know Dr. King died, and they did his autopsy? They said that he had the heart of like a 70-something-year-old. That his heart had been so stressed that, I think he died at age 39, but his heart was actually like it was the age of like a 70-something-year-old person, because of all that he was carrying. And so we gotta remember people like that. But with great success sometimes comes great sacrifice, great challenge. And I'm asking you guys to make a decision today, before you get to that point. Which way will I turn? Start wrapping it up, guys. It's 7:29. I think we can end this right on 7:30 today. I know sometimes we go long, but Mom, I'm
Brandon,
gonna let you
I
enjoy this
have,
trip.
I have
Yeah.
one thing, one more, as it relates
you,
to
you know you always do,
tennis.
right? When I
I
you
know,
always say that.
but you say something that makes me think of it. So you just made me. Okay, you never learn to play tennis. So you never learn to play tennis with the net down, right? Think about that.
Hmm.
You want to win a tennis game, master the art of getting it just. Matter of fact, let it tip the net and just drop.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Because who's going to hit it back? How but if it's down, you never get the chance to master the art of the distance from where your ball needs to go or where your ball needs to land. So making that applicable to life, if we don't play the game with all, like I mentioned one day, that it wouldn't make sense to take a basketball on a football court, right? It just wouldn't make sense to take a basketball out there to play
Right.
basketball, right? So think about that. Take some of these things away and make it applicable to your life. And when you get ready to read our takeaway, I would also add, I will persist in spite of the difficulties and the detours. That's it. I promise I'm gonna come down.
I like that. Despite the difficulties and the detours. Wow. Which way will you turn? And I think it's interesting too. It doesn't escape me that which way will you turn? I heard uh him put the blinker on in the car as you're driving just a couple seconds ago. And it just reminded me, I was reading the title as you were saying that, and then I heard the blink, and I was like, "Is that me?" And I was like, "Oh no, no, y'all driving." But it doesn't escape me that y'all are on the road right now. So y'all make sure y'all stay safe, and watch out for the detours. And I know y'all already know which way that you're gonna turn. So I love y'all. And Mom, you're on mute, by the way. I don't know if you said anything, but you're on mute.
I was just gonna say Jimmy's a pretty good driver.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's an excellent driver. But again, y'all, we're gonna end today's podcast, today's show the same way we do every single day. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us at 7 a.m. I know it's a lot of crazy things going on right now. Both in the world and right here with us doing it a little bit different today, but hopefully we gave you something that you can take away for the rest of the day. We'll be here tomorrow at the same time, same place. But we're going to end it the same way we do every show, with a reading of the title, a reading of the quote from the distinguished African American, um, and also with three readings of our affirmation. So let's go right into it. Today's title on February 23rd, reading from Dennis Kimbro's Daily Motivations for African American Success. Remember, get the book. Get the book. Um, Today's title is Which Way Will You Turn? And our quote is from Roscoe Dungy, an entrepreneur and activist. Some people succeed because they are destined to, but most people succeed because they are determined to. And our quote, and that was our quote, but our affirmation for today is: success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of the difficulties, and with the butterfly added, and despite the detours. That's time. We got two more times. That one was for me, this was for you, and the last one for the person in the back, the person you're gonna send this, the even the inner person inside of you that you need to speak to. Let's say this two more times. Success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of the difficulties. Again, success comes to those who hang on long after others have given up. I will persist in spite of the difficulties and detours. All right, family. I love y'all rocking with us every morning. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. and some more good motivations and inspirations and affirmations for you. Again, guys, get the book. Get the book. We might have to give something. We might have to give a prize out, for do a little raffle or something for the people who get this book. So y'all get the book. Maybe we'll have a little surprise for you by the end of this in celebration of Black History Month. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with us again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now take care. Peace.
Right. Don't forget to end live.
I got you, sweetie. I know. I love you. I to do it. We'll see. Take care, y'all. Peace.